So, round two. Um, I'm Allison Kinnear, and today we are talking about dealing with reality. And I started this once, and then technology failed, and so I'm starting again. Anyway, today we are talking about boundary pushers, the people who maybe continuously push our boundaries and we go, you know what, this time I'm going to set a limit. This time it's going to work. This time I'm going to muster the energy. I'm going to muster some courage and I'm going to make sure there is a stop to this behavior, only to have them transgress that boundary again and again. That is what I have been living with. Thankfully, not with people, but with head lice. So about 10 days ago, 9 days ago, shortly after my parents flew all the way across the country to be with us, we find head lice on my daughter, and she has the longest hair you could possibly imagine. And so I went in with lots of swagger, with lots of, you know what, we are going to make this happen. We are going to make this work. It is going to be fine. Day one, did all the work. Day two, found 2 nits, and I was like, that's fine, that's normal. Day three, I had braided her hair in a different kind of way, and then I found like 10 nits, and the nits are the eggs, and I was like, no, that can't be right, because I did the shampoo. There should be nothing living. I was super thorough. It took hours and hours. Like, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm looking for. There's no way. And so I picked them out. And then day 4, there were like 20 eggs. And I knew then that we had a problem. And not only did we have a problem, we had like so then I treated her again. I gave her the over-the-counter lice shampoo. And I was like, okay, I'm not sure what just happened there, but I think we're good. 2 days later, I realized we were not good. The shampoo was not working. And that shampoo, by the way, for those of you who ever have to deal with head lice, please keep in mind, Nix, Rid, all of those, they can cause neurological damage if you overuse them. Like, that's a real thing. So I knew to stop. And I realized, like, I don't know what's going on here. And that's when I realized that this particular style of lice was immune. They had developed an immunity to the pesticides. So there was no getting rid of them at that point. Like, I needed something different. And so I reached out on Facebook to my friends, and people started sharing, and the overwhelming majority kept saying, go to a clinic, go to a place, they will get rid of them for you. It will be worth it. It doesn't matter how long you have to drive. It doesn't matter how much money you have to spend. Just do it. And so I did. We drove, well, actually it took a couple of days, and then, which every day in lice days is hard to wait through. But we got an appointment. We drove an hour south because there's nothing near here, paid a couple $100, and then drove an hour back. And now we have a game plan for the next 2 weeks. Why am I telling you this? Like, why am I making you all scratch your heads? The reason why I'm telling you this is because we have lice in our lives. We have people in our lives who do subtle things that go unnoticed until there is an infestation, until there is a problem. And when our intuition finally wakes us up and goes, I think we have a problem here, then we can sometimes muster enough courage, muster enough strength to call it out, to set a boundary, to say, you know what, this isn't working for me anymore. Perhaps we can muster that effort and energy to do that, to say, this is where I can't continue on like this. And for the vast majority of people, they will honor that boundary. They will say, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I had no idea. Thank you for telling me it bothers you. Not a problem. I won't do that again, right? Most people will respond. However, Some are the super lice of life. They do not respond to those usual tactics. And so they'll do little subtle things, once again, that go below the radar. And it's really easy to convince yourself and go, you know what? It's not that big of a deal. You know what? I think I dealt with it, didn't I? You know what? I think we're over this, right? You know what? Like, I don't have time for this. We can push back and go, this isn't really happening. This isn't really real. And yet, those little subtle things can add up and add up and add up. And before you know it, you may have an infestation again. Now, I will tell you, I spent about an hour every single day, if not longer, if not 2 hours, every single day, going through everything with a fine-tooth comb. So I was on it, and yet I was still in denial about it. I was still like, nope, I dealt with it. It's over now. Now it's just, I have to, pick up the pieces. But the thing is that sometimes things are persistent. People are persistent. And as much as it pained me to admit that we were having a problem, especially because I came in kind of all, full of swagger and confidence, when everyone kind of gathered around and said, you need to go to an expert, you need to go to help, you need to know how to deal with this, I was still really resistant. I was really ticked off. I was like, no, I don't want to go to see someone. No, I know they can help. I know they're an expert. But you know what? I'm an expert too. I just didn't have the right tools though. See, the clinics had the special shampoo, the kind that you can't find at the store, the kind that I had no access to. And so this is what happens is like, now I have that tool because I went there. I finally said, okay, we're going. And because I went and saw support, now I have the tools. Yes, the other person, the clinic has tools, but so do I. And that's the beauty of this, because now I not only have tools, but I also have a game plan, not just now, but no matter what happens in the future. This is why we need people. It doesn't have to be me as a coach, but this is why we need people. We oftentimes need to go to the professionals to get the tools that we can then incorporate. And some of us are going to get the tools really quick, and some of us are going to have to deal with multiple infestations. And some of us are going to need to clear our environment from, we're going to need to bag up certain parts of our lives and say, no, you're not allowed in here anymore. The thing is that sometimes those small, subtle things matter. And we can do a lot of talking ourselves out and ignoring it and turning a blind eye and saying, I don't have time for this. This isn't what, it's not that bad. It's going to go away. It's going to stop on its own. And sometimes that's true. But for the persistent boundary pushers who surprise us again and again and go, oh my gosh, you're still here? Oh my gosh, you're still violating my boundaries? Oh my gosh, why is this still happening? For those folks, we have to change our tune. We have to get different tools, because what works with the vast majority does not work with them. You need specific tools to deal with that. That's what I have for you today. Sorry to make all of your heads itch. I wish lice was a thing that COVID killed, but unfortunately it's not. So here we go. The good news is I pulled a great metaphor out of it. I can't tell you, when I was dealing with it, I was thinking about all the boundary pushers in my life. I was thinking about all the people that I have witnessed, people I have encountered, and I was going, oh my gosh, I'm surprised this is still happening, and yet I am really aware. Of course it's still happening. Sometimes we just need the right tools and the right support. I don't know about all of you. I feel for all my Washington State, Pacific Northwest people. I understand you have a reprieve now. We have not been reprieved out here in Maine. I feel like I'm living in the inside of a dishwasher on the heat cycle. It is damp. and hot. So I hope you all are staying cool out there, and I will see you next week. Take care.